What's up, guys? A long time no chat. Your girl's been in hibernation mode. We're gonna talk about how to put yourself in a calorie deficit, how to track it, just a simple way to do this for yourself. So I recently just came off of a 4-month calorie deficit where I lost 14 pounds and my muscles are popping. You can't see it in this outfit right now, but they are. So just trust me. It's not easy because it could be mentally taxing and physically taxing depending on how hard of a deficit you go into, but the steps are very, very simple, okay? And number one, we're gonna start with the impression that you already have your maintenance calories down. I'm not gonna go into how to get your maintenance calories in this video. If you want a video for that, let me know and I can go into it. Get my free ultimate guide to fat loss. It explains maintenance, getting into a deficit. It has a strength training guide in there. It has everything that you need, okay? So get that, it's for free on my website. I'm going to just assume you know what your maintenance calories are, okay? And for my public math, I'm gonna keep it an easy number, 2,000 calories. Say your maintenance is 2,000 calories. So now you need to create your deficit, right? So how are you gonna do that? The easiest way to do it is with the calories, not the exercise. We're gonna get into exercise in a minute, and everyone loves exercise, but the nutrition and your deficit is way easier to get the results you want, to see progress, to measure your progress, everything, okay? So that's what we're gonna use. So let's say your maintenance, your body can maintain its current weight at 2,000 calories. Insert whatever number you want. This is gonna be the same. The only thing that will change is how aggressive you can be in your deficit. And what's gonna determine that is your maintenance calories. So if your maintenance calories are 1,500 calories, then I honestly would recommend that you get your maintenance calories higher before you start this. But for argument's sake, let's just say your maintenance calories are 1,500 calories and you want to cut from there. You don't have a lot of wiggle room. You have 300 calories and then you're at 1,200, which already puts you at a very thin line of not even meeting the minimum standards of protein, vitamins, minerals, certain nutrients that you need. And so that's what's going to determine how aggressive of a deficit you can be in. See, at least some weekly progress, or week to week at least. You're going to want to do it anywhere from 300 to, some people do it up to like 700 calorie deficits, which is crazy because I don't have enough runway for that. But if you do, like if you're maintaining at 3,000 calories and you can be in a deficit at 2,300 calories, good for you, okay? Good for you. But yeah, so you just take, let's just say 2,000. And if you want to do 300 calories a week first, just to get yourself used to a maintenance phase or a deficit phase, it's totally up to you. But that just means that every day you literally eat 1,700 calories. That's it. Monday through Sunday, 1,700 calories. Now, you can play the game where you give yourself more calories on certain days. So if you know that Saturday and Sundays are higher calorie days, you normally do fun things out or you eat out a lot, then you could make your weekdays, 1,500 calories and your weekends 1,700 calories or 2,000 calories. I didn't do that math right. You know what I mean. So you can take calories from your week and just eat, fewer calories during the week and allot yourself. So that way you're still in a deficit, but you are still able to enjoy some of the things that you want to enjoy on the weekend and you're not feeling deprived. So that's one way. I honestly like to just stick with the same number. For clients, I'll do it a little bit differently, just depending on where I see they're struggling. Like if I see that they're going over weekend after weekend, then I'm gonna pull some calories from the weekday to throw onto their weekend. But for me personally, I like to eat the same, between 1,700 to 1,800 calories as my deficit for the entire week, Monday through Sunday. It just makes it easier for me, it makes it easier to track. I definitely recommend starting small. So start with, 300 calories. And then if you are, after maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, if you truly don't notice any kind of changes, inches, your sleep is better, your bowel movements are better, you don't notice anything changing at all about your physique, your clothes isn't fitting better, the scale hasn't moved at all, then, maybe try to drop it again. So you could go 400 or 500 calories, but start slow. If you start too fast, you're not gonna get to your results any faster. If anything, you're gonna burn yourself out, you're gonna be fucking starving, and you're gonna think that you can't do it because it's too hard. So start slow. Start learning how to be in a deficit. Like, okay, I gotta pull calories from here. I gotta swap this bread out for this bread. I cannot do the appetizers on weekends anymore. I just gotta go straight to my main course. Like, you'll figure out where you need to pull calories from in a strategic way. And so start small. Don't start so aggressive. You could always increase. There's no end game. That's the thing. There's no end. Once you get out of your deficit, like let's say you want to be in a deficit for 6 months or something. Once you get out of that, you're done for life if you do it right. So another thing, protein is king whenever you're in a calorie deficit. You do not want to lose mostly muscle. That is your worst case scenario. If you put yourself in a deficit, but you end up losing more muscle than fat, you are higher body fat. You're more fat than when you started. I'm sorry. I know I said it really bluntly, but I want it to come across like a punch in the face. Yes, you can do that. You can put yourself in a deficit, burn muscle instead of fat, and after it's all said and done, yeah, you've lost scale weight, but you are a higher body fat percentage than when you started because you reduced your muscle mass. That is worst case scenario. You'll end up in a worse off situation, a lower metabolism, just worse situation, okay? You do not want to lose muscle. So eating 1 gram per pound of lean body weight is a very good idea. You could reduce it a little, 0.7 to 0.8 grams is totally fair. I like to put it in a range. So, I like to know that my range is between 100 to 130. So that way, if I don't get 130, as long as I get 100, I have a minimum. So you could do that too. That's a really good way to do it. And now this one is very important that I get asked a lot is, so if at the end of the day, I'm missing my protein, like I'm under that minimum threshold of protein, but my calories, I'm gonna go over my calories, what should I pick? Whenever you're in a deficit, do not go over your calories. So not getting close to your protein isn't ideal, obviously. Try better the next day. As long as it's not like a repetitive pattern where you're doing this daily, you will be okay. But yeah, do not sacrifice going over the calories to hit the protein number in a deficit. Let's talk about the fun stuff, the workouts, what you should be doing. Should you be working out 6 days a week? Probably not. You wanna know why? Because you are in a calorie deficit. You are intentionally giving your body less calories than it needs to live. So intensifying your workouts right now is the worst idea, okay? It's going to make you more hungry, less energy. It is going to potentially cause you to lose that muscle that you've built because you're over exercising and not fueling properly. So over exercising in a deficit is one of the worst things that you could do for your deficit and for your physique. Okay, so 2 to 3, 2 to 4, if you're a gym goer and you're just obsessed with it, then that's more than enough. But I'm talking about good strength training workouts, not BS puttering around the gym, okay? When I say 2 to 4, that means that you're putting in the effort to go 2 to 4 times. Because someone who goes 2 to 4 times a week, but is giving their workouts everything they got, is probably doing as much work as someone who goes 7 times a week, but they're just diddly-daddling around, okay? So 2 to 3 workouts, 2 to 4, I promise is enough, okay? It is more than enough for you in your deficit phase because number one, you're really just trying to maintain the workouts. Like you're not trying to put on a bunch of new muscle. You're trying to maintain what you already got. And that doesn't take a lot of effort. It doesn't take a lot of work. You're in a deficit. The deficit is going to be for the fat loss. The strength training, yes, it's going to help with the fat loss, burning those extra, 100 calories, but it's mostly just to maintain that precious muscle that you've made and to keep the habit of going to the gym. Cardio. Not a great idea to start off the gate running. Now, if you want to add cardio, that's great every now and then. I like to use cardio as like my nitrous. Like in the last 4 weeks of my deficit, if I don't like the progress I've made or I didn't see it working fast enough or I want to see just that tiny little extra push, then I'll use the last 4 weeks and I'll implement cardio just to really take me over the edge. But ideally, I like to hold back on cardio and use it when I need it because if you do more cardio makes you hungry. You burn a lot of calories when you do cardio. And so it could end up, you're doing all this exercise, but then you end up eating more because you're hungry of all the cardio that you're doing. So the work that you're doing it's balancing out as equal. So you might as well just rest and not do the cardio, give your body the rest that it needs. What I do like to do though is increase the steps, increase the daily movement that you do, because we know that your non-exercise activity makes up the majority of your calorie burn. Exercise makes up a teeny tiny percentage. So if you can increase that non-exercise activity by just moving more throughout the day, getting more steps, you know, if you normally get 10,000, try to go for 12 during your deficit. If you normally get 7, try to go for 10,000 during your deficit. Those small, 2,000 calories a day add up to extra movement, extra calories, and it's also just really good for you, obviously. So that's just kind of a super quick overview. Like I said, if you don't have my ultimate guide to fat loss, please pick it up. It's 21 pages and it gives you everything that I said, but even more detail, obviously. So it's going to help you figure out your maintenance. It's going to tell you how you're going to figure it out. It's going to tell you what to do. It's going to tell you how to put yourself in the deficit after that. It's going to give you strength training workouts that you can do during your deficit. It's going to help you get back into maintenance after your deficit. It's a really, really good guide. So just be sure to grab that. I'll put the link in the comments. And if you want me to do a video on how to find your maintenance, I can do that too. So I hope this was helpful and see you next time. Bye.